What's up, YouTube? Thomas L here. Since today is the birthday of late SNL star Chris Farley, I decided to do my top five favorite Chris Farley movies. Because the guy was amazing. From SNL, he was also great in films, and he had a really decent career when he was around. Sad he was gone way too soon. Chris Farley, he was the man. And like I say, he's been some really good stuff. So most of these are more guilty pleasures, but I still quietly enjoy them. So that being said, here's my list. Coming in at number five is the political comedy Black Sheep. Now this stars Chris Farley as Mike, who's a gym teacher who has like a terrible habit of showing up at the wrong time, and he also embarrasses his brother Al, played by Tim Matheson, who also happens to be running for governor. So, hoping to save his campaign, Al assigns his aide named Steve, played by David Spade, to take Mike on like a remote cabin and hide out there for like the remainder of the campaign. And so, in the woods, the two men, of course, discover danger, and that makes them long for their sleazy political operatives, to get back in like the big city. It's really hysterical. To be honest, I haven't seen this movie for a long time, but it's pretty funny. Chris Farley and David Spade, these two just work together perfectly. Tim Matheson, who was always great. Animal House. Tim Matheson is a pretty decent actor. Of course, he recently played Ron Reagan too, so he's no stranger for political stuff. And the movie was also directed by Penelope Ferris. And besides Spade and Farley and Matheson, you also had Gary Busey. He had a pretty funny role in this. Yeah, if you guys never had a chance to check out Black Sheep, do yourself a favor. If it's on like Netflix, Google Play, whatever, check out Black Sheep. It's really funny. To be honest, the jokes don't really hold up today, but it's still pretty decent. Alright, coming in at number four is more of like a smaller role of his, and that will be Wayne's World. Now, the reason why I'm pretty much adding Wayne's World on this list is because this was pretty much Chris Farley's first feature film, and his like little cameo in Wayne's World is hysterical. He mainly just plays like a security guard who works backstage at Alice Cooper's concert. And Chris Farley's part in this is pretty fun to watch. I really like the interaction with him and Wayne and Garth. Of course, Wayne and Garth is played by Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Wayne's World is a hysterical comedy. It was of course based on an SNL sketch, and of course early '90s, Chris Farley was of course a major SNL player. Yeah, but Wayne's World is really hysterical. And I believe he was also the sequel as well. The sequel isn't as good as the first film, but the Wayne's World is still the best. Yeah, if you guys still never seen Wayne's World, definitely check it out. Especially, or just maybe YouTube Chris Farley's cameo in this, because his cameo is probably one of the better parts of the whole film. Alright, coming in at number three is another slightly bit shorter part, and that is Coneheads. Now, like Wayne's World, Coneheads is also based on an SNL sketch with aliens with Coneheads. And it stars like Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin, who plays like the couple, like the alien couple in this. There's Michelle Burke, who plays their daughter. And in this, Chris Farley's character pretty much dates the alien daughter, played by Michelle Burke. So, and the date scenes is pretty hysterical. Coneheads is really funny all the way around. It's not like a great film, like it's not one of the best comedies of all time, but Coneheads is just pretty hysterical at times. I mean, Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin as the two leads are pretty good. This also had lots of cameos. Like they had cameos by Adam Sandler, Tim Meadows, John Lovitz. Boy, there was loads of SNL comics in this. Makes sense because the movie is based on an SNL sketch. And I gotta say, I'd love to see Dan Aykroyd do another Coneheads movie or another sketch or something. Because I love Dan Aykroyd in this film. And Chris Farley, like his cameo is pretty. Like guess it's not really a cameo. It's mainly a major part, but Chris Farley's part was really funny in this. All right, coming in at number 2 is a slightly more of a smaller part, and that is Billy Madison. I love Chris Farley in this. I mean, he pretty much plays the bus driver, who's like a very angry bus driver, and there's lots of funny scenes with Chris Farley in this, like with the bus driving scene, and where he also tells Adam Sandler's Billy Madison character about one of his guys and the teacher, getting it on. Then of course there's where Chris Farley like taking his shirt off, and while Adam Sandler is answering pretty much when he's like studying for that exam thing. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Billy Madison, you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, this is probably my favorite one of my favorite Chris Farley roles in a feature film. I mean, he was really hysterical here. And I love Billy Madison. It's pretty much also my favorite Adam Sandler movie. It's just a hysterical comedy. Alright. Now, coming in at number 1 is probably a no shocker. Coming in at number 1 for Chris Farley's best films, that is, of course, Tommy Boy. I mean, Tommy Boy is hysterical. I mean, you got Chris Farley, David Spade, Brian Dennehy, Bo Derek. I'm gonna say, I almost said Boy Derek. Bo Derek was really good in this. I mean, yeah, Tommy Boy is definitely Chris Farley's best work. This also has lots of memorable lines. His chemistry with David Spade is amazing. It was also directed by Peter Segal, who's a decent director as best. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a really funny flick. And it really showed how awesome Chris Farley could be in feature films. I mean, this was pretty much, I believe this was his first starring vehicle. I mean, Wayne's World was his first feature, but this here, I believe, was his first starring vehicle. And Chris Farley was really funny in his parts. Also, the scenes with him and David Spade will crack you up. There's also Dan Aykroyd, like he has a part in this. Funny enough, believe it or not, Dan Aykroyd's character in this is actually his doctor character from 51st Dates. So this movie and 51st Dates, if you want to look at, are technically set in the same universe. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they're from the same director. So anyway, but Tommy Boy is definitely a funny one. I mean, if you guys still never seen Tommy Boy by now, definitely check it out. I think you'll appreciate it. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 5, Black Sheep. 4, Wayne's World. 3, Coneheads. 2, Billy Madison. 1, Tommy Boy. Now, he was also in that movie Beverly Hills Ninja, which is more of a guilty pleasure. His last film, Almost Heroes, is pretty decent. Let's see. Airheads is alright. Wayne's World 2. Yeah, I mean, sadly, he didn't really have, like his career was really cut short, so he didn't have that much of a film career. He was originally supposed to voice Shrek, by the way. So that would have been funny to see, actually. But, I mean, no matter what movie that Chris Farley will be in, like, no matter what films that he was in and all, Chris Farley will, of course, always be the man who lives in a van down by the river from Saturday Night Live. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that sketch, YouTube it. It's a really like Chris Farley as Matt Foley is probably his best role. Like, if I was to do like my top 10 favorite Chris Farley roles instead of just his feature films, Matt Foley from SNL will probably be number one. And of course, his other sketch, the Chip and Dale's thing with Patrick Swayze, is hysterical. I mean, Chris Farley was great when he was on SNL as well. And also, if you guys haven't seen the documentary I Am Chris Farley, that's another one you should check out. I mean, it's a really incredible documentary that that went into the mind like of who Chris Farley was. I mean, that movie will leave you to tears, by the way. And also, like Adam Sandler's like 100 fresh comedy special, in that he did like a tribute to Chris Farley. If you watch that, be prepared to get some tissues because it's a really sad song. But yeah, I mean, Chris Farley, he was definitely the man. Rest in peace, Chris Farley. You are and will always be missed. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Chris Farley movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L signing off.